Hey, Mark,
What's up?
you ready for the intro?
Whispering still.
Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of We Digress, the podcast that's a hot mess. This week, the all ASMR episode. Just kidding! Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode. I am Mike Madrano, joined as always by the lovely Cloud Mark 27. How you doing today, bud?
We got lovely again, dude. I'll take the lovely,
I'm
even if
pretty
it's not.
sure I say lovely like every week.
Do you?
Except
I feel like
except for the first episode. I think the first episode I said the all right Cloud Mark
that. Yeah.
27.
You know what? I'll take all right, and I'll take lovely.
Hey, you know what, dude? I don't give out compliments often, but when I do, you're beautiful, just the way you are.
You're
Uh,
beautiful, dude. I feel beautiful in this shirt that I am wearing currently.
oh, Mark, what shirt is that? That looks cool.
This is official merch for the We Digress podcast.
Oh
Whoa!
shit! Go to WeDigressPodcast.com to get your merch today. We'll plug a little bit later on. Anybody who was sitting in Twitch chat while we were just vamping before we actually did the intro, they've already heard it. So we'll spare them for at
Yeah,
least 30 minutes.
at least 30 minutes.
Uh, Mark,
Me, yes.
there wasn't a lot that happened this week.
This was actually quite a slow week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, some big stuff, some
Hmm.
decently big stuff.
Yep, yep, yep.
But yeah, like everything else was just like Evil
Okay.
Geniuses destroys 100 Thieves in LCS playoffs. So
Rest
I
in peace.
cried, you
Yeah.
know, started being a 100 Thieves fan. But at least we made it to playoffs.
Oh, as a
Mark.
CLG fan, my season ended like years ago.
Yeah, your season ended when you guys got acquired by Madison Square Garden. Let's be
Pretty
honest.
much feels
Let's
bad,
be
man.
honest.
It's hard being a CLG fan. It's very hard.
So, Mark,
So me,
yesterday, last week, dude. How does
yeah.
time work, right? Last week, some pretty big shit happened with Epic Games, Fortnite, and Apple,
Oh yeah, that
and
was
to a lesser extent, Google.
yeah. Let's not accept Google. That was more hush hush, but it was a
Yeah.
big fire. All guns blazing or whatever at Apple.
Yes, sir.
All guns blazing.
So I don't know if you want to give a quick recap about what exactly happened last week, and then we can get into the newest stuff that's come out of it.
So basically, Epic has decided that they're not very fond of the 30% that Apple takes from all the transactions that go through their App Store.
Also known as the Apple tax.
Yep, the Apple tax. So Fortnite basically changed how their in-game currency so that Apple would get less of it, which is a big no-no, according to their contracts with each other. But so Apple didn't take very kindly to Epic doing that. So they took Fortnite off of the iOS App Store.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, there's two big app stores that basically monopolize mobile apps, which is the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. So having your app off of one of those is a pretty big chunk of your user base. So Epic decided this was planned by Epic. This was
Oh yeah, this
planned.
was
They knew this was
100%.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So they fired back with a 1984 uh, basically parody ad of the one that Apple had, showing that they're now the monopoly
Yeah.
villains, so to say.
So if you've never seen Apple's 1984 ad, it basically depicts Apple as like the underdog in this like personal computer industry, and how if you buy a Mac or you buy Apple products, you're gonna break free.
Mm-hmm.
And Fortnite did an ad uh, where it's essentially the same ad. It's called 1980 Fortnite, and in this ad, Epic is the underdog going up against Apple's. Um, how would you describe it? Apple's
Tyrannical something. I don't know.
tyrannical something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's super crazy. Could have really big implications for the gaming industry. I know a lot of people have said that it's $1 million company fighting $1 billion company. It's important to realize that in the lawsuit that Epic Games filed against Apple, they are not seeking monetary compensation.
Right.
So it's not about money.
Right.
Um, we had a really in-depth article from The Verge, kind of laying out why this is such a big deal. The thing that it comes down to is one, you have Apple who is monopolizing their app store,
Yep.
which is dangerous for not just big developers but for indie developers,
Especially for indie developers.
especially indie developers. But the second part of that would be that um, I just lost my fucking train of thought, dude. Oh, that Apple is gatekeeping games on their platform.
Correct.
So Apple came out, I don't even remember how long ago, and said that cloud services are not going to ever be on Apple,
Right.
which is insane to me because Apple launched, I think it was last year, they launched their Apple Arcade subscription service.
Wow, is that already last year? I'm
I
pretty
think it
sure.
was last year.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at sheer numbers of consoles sold, the argument can be made that Apple actually sells the most consoles out of anybody in the world
Right.
if you count their phones as consoles because gaming
Right.
is huge. Like I look at my nephew, for example, my nephew who's 10 years old, and yeah, he had a 360. We bought him an Xbox One. He plays most of his games on tablet. I look at my one of my nieces who same thing, like she's had access to consoles because her mom and dad are gamers like us,
Gamers.
but she started out on a tablet.
Right.
Like the mobile game industry is huge. And so
It
here
is
you have,
humongous.
yeah, here you have Apple who's gatekeeping this and making it really difficult for developers to put games on their platform.
Right.
So, did you have a chance to read the article?
I skimmed the article.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like Scott Pilgrim. I skimmed it, you know?
So, one of the big implications here isn't just that, oh, Fortnite's not going to be on the App Store.
Right.
It's the potential that games that use Unreal Engine,
That's Epic's game engine,
which is,
by
yeah,
the way.
Epic's game engine, will not be allowed on the App Store either.
And that's just humongous because
Yes.
of the amount of games that not only indie developers use, but even AAA titles use,
Yeah.
the Unreal Engine. And at the Sony, or was it Sony? I don't know. One of the conferences we saw Unreal Engine 5, and that's a huge deal, right?
It
Because of
was Sony's press conference.
yeah, the amount of developers that actually use this game engine, you know, and it's not just AAA companies, like I said. They
Mm-hmm.
also support a lot of indie companies
Yeah.
around the world through like Epic Mega Grants and stuff like that. So basically, they build a game on their game engine and they,
Mm-hmm.
show the world.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Unreal Engine is free, right?
Unreal Engine is indeed free, and
Yes.
you only have to pay. What is it? You pay like a service fee if you actually, go commercial with the game that you're
Mm-hmm.
making, which is, every game engine pretty much does that.
Yeah. So, and I guess the main reason that this is a big deal, not just because there's a potential that Unreal could be banned on the platform, which is going to hurt indie developers, but one of the other big things is that yes, Apple has its own game engine that they allow people to use to develop games on their apps, but it's not as robust as Unreal. So it's much more
Right.
difficult to develop on that engine. But then you also have instances where when Apple updates certain things, it breaks the Unreal Engine, right?
Correct.
So the Unreal Engine isn't perfect by any means, especially when developing
Yeah.
on Apple devices. The other
Yeah.
thing is, in order to develop on Apple products, you have to have access to their developer kit, which is not easy to get access to. And when you do, it can be revoked. And when it's revoked, you're SOL. You can't develop for the Apple platforms, whether it's
Yeah.
Mac OS or iOS.
Yeah,
Um,
developing platform or Apple platforms has always been a problem. That's why you
yeah.
see games have a Mac version
Yep.
and then the regular PC version.
Yep. Sleeping Billy in chat is bringing up Xbox Games Pass and thinking that it will stop Games Pass. Games Pass is going to be obviously available September 15th, I believe. No, I'm sorry. xCloud is available September 15th.
Yeah,
Uh, which is going to have, you're going to be able to stream your games directly to mobile devices. It's not going to be on iOS devices. Apple has
right.
already said that. It's not going to be on those iOS devices. And they've been kind of uh they haven't really said why. Like they haven't directly said why.
Right.
But what a lot of people are realizing is it's because if you want a game to be on the Apple platform, whether it's Mac or iOS, Apple has to review the game. They have a
Right.
very strict set of guidelines that a game has to meet in order for it to be available to users of the Apple's various platforms.
Yep, yep, yep.
They're not willing to do that with games. They view games as a software where they have to review everything individually before it can be on those platforms. Versus something like music and movies where they don't regulate that as heavily.
Hmm.
Because when you have apps like Hulu, Netflix, Spotify,
Apple Music.
Apple Music, they do not have the ability to individually watch or listen to every piece of content on those platforms. So
Correct.
instead, they're just like, okay, cool. It's music, it's movies, it's whatever. Games, they don't view that way. They view it as a software, therefore, they have to approve it.
Mm.
When cloud gaming comes into effect, is why are we going to allow you, the consumer, to download this game and play it by streaming it to our device? What's
Right.
in it for us? Nothing. They can't
Nothing.
review it, they can't approve or deny it, and the most important thing,
They can't
they don't
monetize.
get they don't get any money from it. Exactly.
And that's the biggest issue that they have
Hmm.
with it. If they're not going to get any money, why would they want it on their platform, basically?
Yeah, because the big thing is, okay, so the Apple tax, which is a 30% take that Apple receives, it
Mm.
generates a lot of revenue for them, right? And
Right.
that's revenue that they're not really having to work for, in the sense
Right.
that
They're making it
obviously,
off of
yeah,
other people's basically content, I should say,
yeah,
because people are
essentially.
buying the in-game currency for that game. That's the
Hmm.
developers made that in-game currency for their game, and
Yeah,
Apple's taking a share of that.
yeah, exactly. So it's a huge cash cow for them,
Yeah.
that they're not willing to give up. Versus like Android, for example, you have that cut that Android takes, and I want to say it's 30% as well.
Yeah, I think it is also 30%.
But Android is much more forward thinking when it comes to things like cloud gaming services,
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure.
They're not gonna you know stop you. The other interesting thing though with Android is that even though Google did take it off the Play Store, you can still download it directly to your phone. You can download Fortnite to your phone by going to the launcher on the website, um,
Yeah.
and downloading
For
it directly.
for Android, you just need the APK
Yeah,
of whatever app that you want to download.
yeah. And so I know that when they first launched it, it wasn't as successful as they thought it would be, because people are more likely to download an app from the Play Store than directly from the developer.
Right. Yeah, I
Right.
know a lot of people don't even know what APK is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we didn't say outright right now, APK is what you can download, have an app, you know, to install an app on your phone. You
Yeah.
don't need to go through the Play Store or anything. And that's just it's first of all, it's where would you even get that, right? You'd have to be knowledgeable that it exists, and then you have to be knowledgeable like, okay, where can I find these? And then
Yeah.
you have to go down through all that. And it's a lot easier to go to Google Play Store, type in, I don't know, Netflix. It
Yeah.
pops up, and you're like, download, boom.
It's much easier to do that. We said it. Apple's not able to get their cut. because their big thing with cloud services is like, let's say I want to play Fortnite on my phone, but I don't want to download it on my phone, right? Or on
Right.
my tablet, whatever. I can stream the PC version of it from this cloud service onto my device, and I can then, using that cloud service, purchase my V Bucks directly from Epic.
Right.
I no
So they're
longer
not
have to go
getting
through. Yeah, exactly. So they're not getting their cut. The article. I don't know. Do you have the doc up? If you want to link that in chats.
yes, the Verge article.
Yeah, that long one.
Oh, boop.
So one of the things that the article talks about is that Epic is waging war against Apple's well-established rules by defying that 30% tax. But when it comes to cloud gaming, the App Store rules are less clear,
Mm,
and they don't really include any of Apple's core arguments. Um, so another blogger who specializes in like Apple products decoded the statement, and he said that let me see here. We don't know for sure, but Gruger postulates that this is all because Apple favors native apps over ones remotely in the cloud because again they can monitor those. Quote: "It is a nonsensical justification, no doubt about that. But the comparison to Netflix or Spotify is beside the point. Of course, Apple doesn't and can't review every movie on Netflix or every song on Spotify. But if you think about it, they could review every game on Xbox Game Pass. Even if it's 100 games, they could look at them all. The point is that streaming video and music services are allowed in the App Store. Streaming software, games or otherwise, is not unless it all works over the web. Apple just doesn't want to say that. So part of that is um, Spotify used to allow in-app purchases, but they've since removed that. So instead, what they want you to do is they want you to purchase it on the web and then download it through the app onto your device. Right? Does that make
yeah.
sense? And that's how they're able to get around that tax. When it comes to people or companies like Netflix and Spotify, they start paying that 30% tax, and this is in the article. And once the user has been subscribed for a year, that tax is reduced to 15%, right?
Right.
But then you have companies like Amazon and their video streaming platform where they don't have to pay that tax. There's only a handful of streaming services that Apple has made this agreement with where you can stream these services without paying that tax, right? Similarly, with Amazon, you can't purchase books through the Kindle app on iOS. You have to purchase them through Amazon.com and then download them to the app in your device.
Right.
So it's just this big, like, convoluted way to just get content on your phone
Right.
without Apple taking their cut.
Yeah. And man, yeah, you said it, Impulse. Everything is money, money, money.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. I mean, it makes if you're running a business, you want to have. You obviously want to make money, right? You don't want to
Yeah,
run a
yeah, yeah.
business and lose all the money that you make. But to be so greedy, man, and also making money off of things that aren't even yours, content
Mm-hmm.
that's not even yours.
Well,
Uh,
the other part of that though, Mark, is like, and you know, I said it earlier, like you have this device in your pocket that's capable of playing these games. It's a console in itself.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And you are gonna like the games industry is huge. It's $1 billion industry.
Right.
And you're not
And
wanting
still
to
growing, so
yeah, still growing. And you're not wanting to tap into that
it
unless
makes
it's on your own terms. Right? Because you
no
look
sense.
at like the Apple Arcade and it's been
Right.
successful for them. But then it also comes, the other part of that is, are developers getting paid what they should be for developing
Right.
for that platform? Because Apple is giving them the money, saying, "Hey, we want you to develop a game for this platform," and they're doing it. But is that enough?
Right.
What other revenue stream do they have coming through that program? Not only that, but if it's a wildly successful game and there's opportunity for them to put it on other platforms,
Right.
are they going to be able to?
Yeah, they would. They wouldn't want to limit themselves. If you have
Yeah,
something successful, you wouldn't want to limit yourself. You
yeah,
want as
exactly.
many people to get it, which is like the recent success of Fall Guys.
Yeah,
That's right now only it's limited to PS4 and Steam. So how much more would they have gotten if, let's say, you could get it on Switch or Xbox Game Pass or something like
yeah,
that? And you think how much Sony is paying them for exclusivity right now?
yeah,
Would it be more or would it be less to get on every console?
yeah, exactly. Well, and you know, I think I know we talked about it. You know, console exclusive content. We've talked about it in a previous episode. Like you look at like the Spider-Man deal with Sony and PlayStation for the Avengers game,
Right,
and you bring up the point: are you limiting yourself by not providing that to another platform? One, I don't think you are for like a major AAA title like that
right,
because you're gonna have all this other DLC coming out that people are gonna buy.
right.
So I don't think one DLC character is gonna make a difference. But that's a AAA studio developing a AAA title who has millions of dollars
A lot of money.
to put this game, you know, to polish the game up and put it
Yeah,
out.
they
And
have
they're
the
gonna
big
make
teams, big
yeah,
money, big reach, big voice, and everything.
and they're gonna make millions of dollars selling the game. They're gonna make their
Right.
money back. They're gonna be profitable. But when it comes to the indie developer, you know, I remember, you know, back when iOS, like when the App Store first came out, most apps that you paid for were 99 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, it's like, oh, that's only $1. It's like whatever.
It's only $1.
But if you're buying the app, only 70 cents is going to the developer versus the full dollar or even 80 cents.
And
Which
that
to
adds
us,
up
yeah,
over time.
exactly. To us, that seems minuscule, but for if you're selling anything, if you're a business, that's a huge chunk of change in the long run. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Let's say you sell 1 million of them,
Mm-hmm.
so that would be $1 million, right?
Yeah,
But take away 30% of that, which is 300,000 that
yeah,
you wouldn't see.
exactly. And that's
See, so then
yeah,
that's when it starts to be like, they're actually taking quite a bit.
yeah, and that's 300,000 that Apple is getting just because your app is on their platform.
Right.
You know, so this article actually does go on to talk about some other antitrust investigations that are occurring in the European Union. So they are investigating Apple for some other antitrust stuff.
Mm.
The article also mentions, and this is something that I didn't even really think about until I read the article. It's something I was aware of, but when Apple Sherlocks you, which is where they copy a key product or feature from like a third party app and they integrate it into their own platform,
Yeah.
which basically forces the other app to not leave the platform but to not be as relevant.
Right.
So why are you going to pay 99 cents for an app that has this feature when now Apple has now integrated it? You don't have to pay that 99 cents. You have a million users on the platform, that's $1 million you're missing out on.
Right.
Right? So it's the same thing. I don't know, man. I the other part of this is that Apple has threatened to take away those iOS and Mac developer tools. Threatened to take that away from Epic on
Right.
August 28th, unless Epic reverses course and removes the in-app pay feature, like the direct payment feature.
Correct.
Which is again, it's you know, whether you see Apple as the bad guy, Epic as the good guy, or they're both just these incredibly rich companies and you don't really give a shit what happens either way, this is going to have huge implications.
This like reminds me of that picture of Iron Man and Batman throwing money at each other, and Spider
Yeah.
Man's like trying to gather it up at the bottom. We're Spider Man,
Yeah.
and they're Batman.
Well,
And
I'd say the developers are Spider-Man.
yeah,
Indie
okay, the
developers,
developers are Spider Man, and
you know.
yeah. I always like that picture.
But
But
yeah, man, we'll have to see what. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to touch base on with this.
no, I mean that's pretty much. I think we hit everything. It's just greed, man. Greed. God damn. We just want it. We as gamers just want to experience games at wherever, whenever, however. We just want that to be able to experience it.
Dude,
And
gamers rise up.
gamers rise up, damn it. Hear the money? Hell yes. But yeah, I think we covered most of it.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to wait to see what happens on August 28th. Or yeah, August 28th. See if they actually, if Apple actually does what it says. But
Yeah,
maybe
but
they're just playing a game of chicken, man.
you know
Who
what?
knows?
To be honest with you, that's what it seems like at first. Because obviously, Epic knew what was gonna happen, and they like straight up. I mean, they were ready. They were ready. They were prepared. They had everything ready
Yeah.
to go. They're trying to mobilize the Fortnite community and gamers to to stick it to Apple. I don't know that they expected Apple to be like, all right, cool, we're just gonna revoke your developer privileges. Because it seems like once that happened, Epic was like, now they're struggling. They reached out to the court to appeal that and say like, hey, you need to tell Apple that legally they cannot do that because not only are they endangering Fortnite, but they're endangering anybody who uses the Unreal Engine.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting to say the least.
It's fucked, dude.
Oh, it really is, man.
Oh man. Like I said, we just have to
Yeah.
see who it is,
But
or
hey,
who it is.
listen,
See what it
Apple,
is.
if you're listen, Tim Cook, if you're watching, because I know you do, if you want to, you want to advertise here on the podcast, we prefer PC, so don't even think about it, bud. Fucking
Woo!
got him,
Got him.
got his ass.
Oh shit.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
old Tim Apple, dude.
my boy Tim Apple. Oh man.
All right, Mark, you want to take this next story about Twitch and the RIAA?
Oh, Twitch, man. So, as we all know, there was this like a month ago or maybe this was 2 months ago. There was a
June.
big yeah, June. There was a big DMCA apocalypse on Twitch, which is basically a bunch of big streamers, well, a bunch of streamers got a lot of their clips and VOD content basically DMCA'd with by the music industry. Yeah,
Yep.
TOS. So there's a whole big thing. Like giant streamers were like scared of losing partnership of being banned off of Twitch because if you get 3 strikes from copyright, your account gets banned basically. So there was a giant big thing, and now we have the joke, in a bunch of stream like, oh, TOS, don't sing that song, they're gonna come after you,
Yeah.
and well, we do say it as a joke and do go after it jovially. It is a big thing. There's a lot of people that were affected by this. Specifically, I would say like the Just Dance streamers, the
Yeah.
Clone Hero streamers, and just people like that. And also being it's changed IRL too because people are getting DMCA'd for a song in the background like barely heard from a store across the street or something.
Yeah. It was a big yikes, dude, I think, for a lot of people on Twitch.
Yeah. So that's why you see a lot of people doing, okay, we'll just play copyright free music or game music because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, they can't do that if it's in the game.
Yeah.
And ooh, the RIAA sent out 1,817 copyright notices to Twitch users. Sheesh!
Yes,
That's a
and
lot.
that was in June. And prior to
Yeah.
that, they had only sent out 710 notices. Here's
Holy
the here's the
moly.
thing that cracks me up, and I need to find the actual quote in the article here. Uh, but somewhere in this article, which is from CNN,
Yep, CNN.
they talk about. Let me see. Let me see here. Blah blah
Oop,
blah.
there it is right there if you want to check it out yourselves.
Okay, I have to. I'll have to find. Well, we linked it there. It's in the article, but they talk about how like the RIAA says that they're not just going through and like banning people just because they have the music like is in the clip or whatever, but that they have an automated system that will flag the videos, and then a human goes in and reviews it to
Mm,
look at like the context in which it was used to see if it is copyright infringement. Because right
right.
there's a thing called fair use, and a lot of people think that fair use could is literally just like, oh, I made a vlog and I put the entire song in there. That's fair use. That's not fair use.
That's not very
Fair use
useful.
is when you take another piece of content and you transform it to make
Yeah.
it your own.
Or as
So,
we content creators call it,
mhm,
transformative content.
exactly.
Uh,
So, for example, let's say Mark uh, produces a song,
right.
okay, and then I take that song and I, you know, how do you describe? I remix the song. That's the word I was looking for. And I remix the song. It is fair use because it
Right.
was transformative in nature, right? Versus like, and I don't want to call anybody out, but something that Mark and I talk about all the time is what we call the laziest form of content creation,
right.
which is sitting in front of a camera with your mouth open watching YouTube videos,
Right.
right? There's an argument there that yes, it's transformative, no, it's not. If you're not doing something to actively change that content and make it your own, it's not fair use. I think
Correct.
the general rule of thumb is like 70-30. So if you take a piece of content and 70% of it is transformative, you're good.
You good.
But sitting there in front of the camera watching a YouTube video, I would argue is not 70-30. You know,
Right.
that's just me. But yeah, so the RIAA is cracking down on Twitch, man.
Yeah, and the RIAA is the Recording Industry Association of America.
Yeah, and they have the copyright. They hold copyrights for millions of songs.
Millions.
You know, so like for example, you brought up Just Dance. Ubisoft is licensing that music from the licensor so that it can be in the game.
Hmm.
Which brings up another argument, and is that if you buy a game, let's not even talk games. Let's talk CDs because this was a big thing in the late '90s, early 2000s. If
Oh
I
boy.
buy a CD, I own it, correct?
Right.
So am I then allowed to re up or to rip that music and share it to sites like LimeWire, where other people can then download it from me,
Or even rip it to a blank
or
CD
or
and then
even
give
yeah,
that
rip it
CD
to
out.
another CD?
It's,
At what point does like the content become yours? And I think that's where like fair use comes into play,
right.
right? This is
Man, dude,
obviously,
talking about those CDs. Woo.
I know we're boomers over here at this podcast, you know. Um I think it's important to remember that the internet in general is still the wild west, because in the grand scheme of things the internet is still in its infancy.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things that are new and our archaic laws don't really
Yeah.
know how to deal with them, which means there needs to be changes. But there's a lot of times where the people that want to make changes don't really understand how these things work.
Yeah.
So there's a big disconnect between making new laws and keeping the same old archaic laws that don't
Mhm.
actually work.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, and I know one of like the big arguments that people were making, well, and I say people, like streamers were making, was that nobody ever says like, "Oh, I want to buy this new album, but I'm just going to listen to it on Twitch instead." You know what I mean? Like nobody does that.
Right. You don't go onto your favorite stream. I don't go onto T1 stream and be like, man, I'm gonna listen to this album. Let's go to
Yeah.
T1 stream. That's not how that works.
So, uh thankfully from this you have had instances where these big streamers are tweeting at artists to be like, "Hey, this is what's going on. Can I have your permission to use music, your music in stream?" I think it was, oh man, what's his name?
Good old what's his name?
Sleeping Billy, you would know. Uh he does the Scuffed podcast.
I have no idea.
Sleeping Billy in chat, come through.
Come through, Sleeping Billy.
I cannot remember his name for the life of me.
Rick?
Trainwrecks, there you go. Trainwrecks.
Okay.
So Trainwrecks tweeted at, I believe it was Travis Scott, who owns all his, like, he owns his music, right?
Right.
And he was like, "Hey, I know this is a long shot, but this is what's going on. Do I have permission to use your music in my streams?" And Travis Scott was like, "Yeah, go for it."
Hell yeah.
So you have instances where like that happens, or where like Monster Cat is becoming more popular to use on stream because you can pay like a monthly fee and have access to their entire catalog of music to use on stream,
Right.
things like that. So just remember, guys, content needs to be transformative in nature if you want to reuse it. And if you do end up using copywritten music in your streams, delete the VODs.
Delete the VODs.
And
Don't
delete
post it to YouTube.
Yeah, and delete any clips as well that feature that music.
Right.
Which I know is like easier said than done because there's, I'm sure there are some great clips that might have music in them and you don't want to delete them, but you can always download them.
They have
and then
memories tied to them.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to part with them, but they have Never Gonna Give You Up playing in the background.
Never Gonna Give You Up. Oh, I guess the other general rule of thumb is that when you're creating content, you can use 30 seconds of copywritten material and it's okay. Once you use over 30 seconds, that's when it's like, okay, is this transformative in nature? That's the other thing to remember.
Yep.
Speaking of taking other people's content, Burger King kind of fucked up, dude.
Oh, dude, who would even think Burger King?
So, if you don't know what we're talking about, Burger King hired an ad agency who created accounts like associated with Burger King. Those accounts then went into popular streamers' channels and donated like $5 to be like, "Hey, just so you know, with this $5, you can now get XYZ item from Burger King." And they recorded the reactions to this and created an ad campaign around it. Now, this
is that or is that?
Well, hold on. Let's to give you guys some additional history and context. This isn't the first time that Burger King has done something like this, where they have co-opted other people's content to sell you something. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Burger King started digging up tweets from like 2010, 2011. And they would retweet them. So they got like Nate Shot, Casey Neistat, some of these other prominent influencers.
And on social media.
Yeah, and they just randomly retweeted them. So then you had people like Nate Shot and Casey Neistat who would tweet at Burger King and be like, "Why are you retweeting something from 2010, 2011? And it was because Burger King was bringing back an item from like the 90s. They were bringing it back to their menu. And so they were co-opting these people's tweets to promote something.
Right.
Which is what they're doing again.
Right.
Now, the first time it happened, it was seen as like, "Oh shit, this is genius. This is so creative." Casey Neistat even did a video where he was like, "You know what? I'm not mad because this is really creative, but like, if you want to work with me, let's go through the proper channels." And he called him out and was like, "You know what? Like, you don't have to pay me. Just donate $100,000 to this charity." And then Burger King, they donated $100,000 to this charity because he called him out.
Good. Nice. Charity gets money. Let's go. Good job.
So yeah, so now you have Burger King doing something very similar. But they fucked with the wrong crowd.
Oh shit! Gamers rise up.
Gamers rise up. A lot of streamers, not just, that had this happen to them, but that were just kind of like saw it unfolding, started calling Burger King out. Saying that it was a very shady practice. It was scummy of them to do. Uh I don't know if you saw the video, like the actual
No,
ad that they put out. So there was a moment in the video, and I think this is what really riled people up. So they were donating to TP, who is a former professional Call of Duty player. He's now a full time streamer. So they donated to him, and in the clip, after the donation is finished being read out loud, he goes, "So are you gonna sponsor me or what?" And then it cuts to like a like text appears on the screen, and it says, "Oh, we just paid you $5."
what
And
the
that's
what?
where I think people are like,
Oh,
yes. I think that's where people are getting upset,
yeah.
because it's like you're advertising on people's streams, and then when you get called out for it, your justification is, "Oh, well, we did pay you. We paid you enough to go buy a Whopper from Burger King." You know what I mean? It just like it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all.
Oh man, that's awful, dude.
Yeah, dude. And they were getting called out by a lot of streamers saying like, if you actually want to work with us and like advertise, do a sponsored stream, reach out to us so that we can follow the proper FTC guidelines,
Right.
right? Because if you're sponsoring something, the person you're sponsoring has to disclose that, whether it's in a tweet, an Instagram post, or a stream, or a YouTube
That's why
video.
you see hashtag ad
Yeah,
on it
or
and
hashtag
stuff like that.
sponsored. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. What do you think about all this, Mark?
Well, the situation that it's freaking Burger King. That part cracks me up because it's fucking Burger King.
Yeah,
But it's never good to do stuff without people's permission. Remember, guys, consent is cool.
consent is cool.
And I was reading this tweet by Miss Ammunition,
Mm-hmm.
who's a gigantic streamer, and I'll just read her tweet. So this is from Ammunition. I really despise when companies take advantage of my live content in order to push their ads without clearing it with me first, or offering what I should be paid for the marketing, which is more than $5, I'm pretty sure. And she would be right about that. Ammunition has a gigantic reach, a gigantic
Mm-hmm.
audience that she can advertise to, basically. So getting $5 does not even come close to what she should be paid for how many people she can
Yeah.
reach.
Yeah.
So that's pretty shitty. And come on, Burger King, what are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you
Well,
guys doing?
I mean, and like look at other companies, like other food and beverage companies, like Red Bull, Monster, Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola. They've all created esports divisions in their companies to
Right.
sponsor people who are streamers, who are esports athletes, because they know that if they're able to target, their demographics, it's going to be huge for them, right?
Right.
That's what marketing is you pay money to put your product out there to then get more money, right? Like even G Fuel, exactly. Or like Hellman's mayonnaise, Hellman's mayonnaise of all people. They made an island within Animal Crossing as a form of marketing, which is fucking genius. You
Yeah,
know?
Animal Crossing sold what, 22 million copies?
Yeah. So it's like you just invest the money it the proper way, and you're good. Because here's the thing, right? Is if I'm Burger King, I look at this ad and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I'm kind of pissed off because I've given this ad agency money, right? We don't know how
Right.
much, but let's say they even give them like, you know, $500,000 and say, create this campaign for us. And their solution is to take like $200 of that, create a couple free Twitch accounts, and advertise this way. Like
It's yeah,
the
it's fun.
money that you've invested into this marketing company, you're not, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you've given them more money than they have put the work in for. You know what I mean?
of course.
And obviously you
Yeah,
have to pay people, you have to pay the team, but like it was, you know what, $5 here and there and a couple of free accounts.
right.
You know?
Yeah, that's the thing that Crimson brings up. It really sours the attitude with a lot of streamers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are people actually gonna want to partner with Burger King
Yeah,
now?
exactly. So now you've potentially, you know, burned the bridges with this huge community who is probably not going to want to work with you again because you pulled some shitty stunt like this.
Right.
You know.
And Burger King, if you're watching this, because we know that you are, I prefer Wendy's.
Yeah, listen, we like to simp on this podcast, but sorry, Burger King, it's not happening. It's funny. I actually had Burger King for dinner. Totally, completely unrelated. My family was like, "You want Burger King?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So, and let me
I,
tell you, I know that you're Burger King. I'm gonna look directly into the camera for this one. Burger King. I know that 8 chicken nuggets for $1 sounds like a great deal, but when your chicken nuggets look, feel, and taste like cardboard, maybe go back to the drawing board on that one. But dude, I literally got an 8 piece of chicken nugs because I love chicken nugs, and I
right?
go to eat it, and I'm just like, oh, my mouth is so dry. Dude, it was I was eating fucking sand, bro. I was
We
like,
all know
what the
that Michael
fuck?
hates said.
I do. It's rough and it's coarse and it gets everywhere. Not like
Michael
here.
hates.
Here is
Oh
soft,
no,
like you.
you're soft like you.
And they acted like they wanted to be treated like animals, so I slaughtered them like animals, and not just the men, but the women and children too.
No, Annie, the women and children.
Oh, Annie.
That's our transformative content,
That's our transformative content right there.
right?
Yeah, so there's that, dude. That was you know,
Enjoy those AA runs.
that was the thing.
Yeah. So that was our that's basically our Burger King news.
Yeah,
But
that's do do
as we have
do do do
established,
do.
we like simping on this podcast.
Yeah, we
So
do.
if our girl Wendy wants to hang, hey, how's it going?
Listen, I'll do you one better. Wendy, my girl. You look dashing today. Milady, tipping the
My
fedora.
lady.
You don't even have to sponsor us. If you just want to roast the fuck out of us on Twitter, we'd be
I
okay
would
with
take
that.
that.
Yeah, we'd be okay with that. So
Yeah.
please roast us
I
on Twitter. God damn it. Speaking of simping,
Speaking of simping,
that was a transition.
yeah.
Mark, why don't you hit me with the next story, my dude?
Hit me with the next shot. So, as y'all know, a giant content creator on Twitch has recently taken a month-long, um, basically step away from social media and
Mm-hmm.
the internet. And y'all know that I'm talking about Miss Pokimane, who is, I would say, the biggest female streamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
And she recently posted an apology video, basically going over the things that she's gone over before on her stream and on Twitter and whatever. But she released this apology video, and there's a lot of different takes I see
Yeah.
about it. And as someone who loves Poke, I'm using my Pokimane mouse pad currently at this very moment to move my mouse around.
To moose his mouse.
Yeah, to boost my mouse around. Um, I don't know if I think that this apology video was warranted because, like I said before, she's basically apologizing for things that she's already apologized for.
Yeah.
So I personally don't think that she needed to apologize anymore. she already did. It's already happened, and I feel like releasing this video will just stir up more of her. How
It's
do you
gonna
say it? Not
it's
nays.
gonna stir up more drama for
It's
sure.
gonna stir up more drama. I feel, and she already apologized. She has.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she has a reason to apologize anymore. Like I don't think she has to.
No. Well,
But that's my take.
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, obviously she's her own person.
Yeah,
This is just our opinion on the
this is
subject.
our opinion. So
I don't think you needed the apology. To be completely honest with you, and it's easy for us to say because one, we're not nearly as prominent as she is,
oh yeah,
and I realize that she gets a lot of hate for simply being a female in the gaming industry.
yeah, 100%.
I don't, but I don't think it was warranted. I understand where she was coming from with it, but you know, like she apologized for the DMCA takedowns and whatnot. She apologized for bringing up the sponsors for, I think it was It's a Gundam's video where he was, yeah, talking about a fan who was like simping for her and stuff. And you know I know it's a big thing on like on the internet, is like never go after somebody's sponsors, but when you're producing sponsored content for a company and your entire video is just shitting on somebody, I don't think that that's the type of content that companies want their name associated with.
Right, 100%.
You know what
That's
I
why
mean?
I was like,
It's not brand friendly, and that's a term that gets thrown around a lot.
right,
Are you brand friendly? Like Ninja blew up because he's brand friendly, right? Or
right.
initially he was when Fortnite took off. I so with
That's
it's something.
why Disney dropped PewDiePie because
Yeah,
he wasn't friendly towards their brand,
yeah,
and that's a big thing because sponsorships are that's a lot of money for a streamer, basically.
yeah,
And yeah, there's absolutely no reason to attack somebody based on their appearance. It's like, just that's just such a bully move, you know?
yeah,
And there's no bullying. We don't condone bullying at all because we've seen what bullying can lead to with,
yeah,
like what happened with Reckful. That was recent. That happened. That he got bullied and shit, and look what happened. We don't, we don't like that. We don't want any of that.
yeah, dude. It's in it like it's. I think the thing that trips me out the most is like this is all stuff that like you brought it up. It happened in the past. It was talked about in the past. There was apologizing in the past. What was the thing that stirred this up? A drama YouTube video alleging that Pokey had a boyfriend is what
Right,
brought all this back up. Which, and we've said this before, it's nobody's fucking business.
right. It's
The
literally her business. That's it.
Yeah, it's her, and if she is seeing somebody, that person's business.
Correct.
It shouldn't matter to anyone, and this doesn't just go for like streamers and content creators, but like traditional celebrities, traditional sports athletes, things like that. It is their business and their business only.
Right.
You
And
know.
it's unfortunate that we see a lot of fanatic fans. I would say like overly fanatic fans,
Mhm.
not the org fanatic, but overly fanatic fans that they care very much about the person they're a fan about. So much so
Yeah.
that like if they see them in a different light than how they perceive them, then they tend to do very drastic things.
Yeah. Well, and then it also doesn't help any that you have people, and I'll just fucking say the names because I really don't give a shit. When you have fucking morons like Leafy is here and Keemstar who are gonna perpetuate this hate towards these content creators simply because of their gender.
Right.
Like you have Leafy is here, who's this young dude who is producing this content, alleging these things that, again, it's nobody's business. And then you have somebody like fucking Keemstar who's pushing 40 years old, who has a fucking daughter, and he's over here attacking women. Like,
Right.
But God forbid you open your mouth about his daughter because he's gonna lose his shit. Which
Right.
he should be because that's his kid, regardless of the gender. That's his child. But why are you gonna think that it's okay to do that to somebody else? You know, it's like it just doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all.
Yeah, it's stupid, honestly.
I don't know, man. And then and not to derail this topic, but like like our boy Jake Lucky,
Good old Jake
who,
Lucky.
if you don't know who that is, he is a reporter and the host of Esports Talk on YouTube. He's absolutely blown up like during the pandemic.
Great
The
content.
dude's putting out content like I've never seen before. Uh, it's incredible what he's doing.
He lives off of coffee and energy drinks, it
Yeah, pretty
seems.
much. And recently like Keem started attacking him for seemingly no reason other than like he's becoming successful on the YouTube platform. And it's like I just don't understand these people that have these platforms where their entire business model is I'm gonna shit on people. I'm gonna attack these people and I'm gonna make these false claims and that's my entire business model. And if you
Yeah.
don't like it, then fuck you. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's sad that that's a thing, and you see it with like bigger, um, like production companies. Like that's why TMZ is a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
People soak that up, and it's really sad that it's even successful.
Yeah, and it just like I don't know. It boggles my fucking mind, dude.
Yeah.
It really does. And then that's why going back to this situation with Pokey, she makes this apology, which you know, like I said, we have our own opinion about it. Then you have other streamers coming out and saying like she didn't need to make it, or saying like, oh, she's feeding back into the drama machine, or oh, she only made it because of whatever. She's capitalizing on it. It's business, whatever, blah blah blah. I don't know, man. I want to see the good in people on the internet because I love the internet so much.
Right.
Just because of what everybody is capable of on online in terms of content creation and social issues and whatnot. But god damn, dude, shit like this just fucking
It's awful.
it grinds my fucking gears, buddy.
Right. Right.
And it is. It's very unfortunate.
It's awful.
Yeah.
There's just nothing else to say. It's terrible. And we support you, Pokey. I do. I don't speak for Michael. Michael has his own words.
Oh, dude, no, I 100%, dude. I stand me some Pokey.
Right.
So, I mean, dude, I bought when she did her merch. Was it last year
I think so. Yeah.
or the year before, dude? Like I was soaking that shit up, dude. I fucking bought that shit. It's and again, it's like whether you enjoy the content or not, that's one thing. But to attack somebody over substantiated claims, if that is even a word,
Right.
it's just like it's bullshit, bro. Like,
God,
sorry,
you
we're
know,
laughing at Twitch chat.
yeah. I don't think. Oh man, I feel like that's what people go after, like, right? The simp
Yeah.
stuff, and we have a saying here, right? Don't be an asshole, simp your friends, and a lot of people just like overblow it,
Yeah,
and
dude.
it's insane. Like, I feel like that's a lot of what Leafy's audience is. Like, he's simping.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, chill out. You can support people
Yeah.
without without it being weird. Like, just
Yeah.
support somebody that you
Well,
care about.
see, and that's the other thing though, is like if like we as we identify as males,
Right.
right? If we tweet out or show support in any way towards a female, we're simping.
Right.
It doesn't have to just be like, oh, I love you. Oh, you're so this and you're so that, and I'm gonna give you all my money. It's like just the simple fact, like just simply showing support for somebody who is female, you are a simp.
Yeah, it's insane.
You
It's
know?
like I can't be like, yo, that was some sick gameplay or something.
Yeah.
Like, nope. It's like, bro,
Yes.
shut up. What are you talking
Yeah, it's
about?
just, you know,
Be
listen,
supportive of people.
game recognized game, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Uh now, I don't want to let's make something clear, right? Pokey has said things that have been that she should not have said.
100%. Yeah.
Specifically, she has dropped the N word on two occasions, once on stream, once in a tweet.
Which was 5 years ago, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, 5 and 7 years ago.
And
And she has repeatedly apologized for both of those, by the way.
exactly.
So,
You
like I
know,
said, I really don't think she needed to. This is just my opinion, of course.
yeah.
She didn't need to apologize for it again.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously that's something you should apologize for.
Yeah,
Which
did.
she did. And she removed the VODs, and she's even said, like, yeah, I didn't realize the context in which I was using that. I apologize, and I've learned, and I continue to learn, and I'm growing from it, which is really all anybody can ask of anybody. You know,
Right.
like, dude, I don't like. Listen, if I meet somebody and they are a good person, and I find out like they used to be like a fucking neo-Nazi, but they have reformed and they have realized the error and they have grown and they now, you know, stand against that, I'm not going to hold the past against them
Right, we've all
because
done stupid things that we're not proud
yes,
of,
because
and as long as we're learning from those
yeah,
stupid things, become a better person. I think that's what matters the most.
and that's exactly what it is. It's like we are human and we continue to grow and we continue to learn every single day, right? Like, look, I'll bring up a story here.
Oh
Okay.
shit, you got me, dude.
When I was younger, I was incredibly religious, like more religious than any other member of my family. Okay. I used to go to church every Sunday with one of my tias, my aunt, and if she couldn't go, I would go by myself. I would have one of my grandparents drop me off, and then they'd pick me up. And I had a moment where I was in catechism, and my catechism teacher said something about Ellen DeGeneres, which obviously there's a lot of shit going on with that, right?
Right.
But she would say Ellen DeGenerate. And at first I was like, huh, wordplay, nice. Only to find out later that it's because, you know, Ellen is gay and my catechism teacher was like, being gay is a sin. And I believed that for quite some time. And it wasn't until one day I said that to my mother. I said, Ellen DeGenerate. And she said, well, why do you say that? And I was like, well, because she's gay. And my mother sat me down, you know, blessed up to mom. She sat me down and she was like, no, like that's wrong. Like I understand that that's what the church believes, but that is wrong. And she sat down and she explained it to me. And from that point forward, I was like, you know what, you're right. And I mean, I'm a preteen at this point, right?
Right.
And as a preteen, I was like, you know what, you're right. Like that was a really shitty thing for me to say, and I apologize, and I learned from it. And like, you know, I have family members who are gay. I have,
Right.
you know,
Right.
one of my sisters is bisexual. You know, it's like you learn from these things and you grow. And here I am as an adult, and I would never throw down with somebody if they're shit talking me. But like, you say some shit, like you act racist, you act like a homophobe. I will throw the fuck down, bro.
Hell yeah,
You know
dude.
what I mean? And it's because you grow and you learn.
Right.
So to bring shit up from somebody's past, if and this is the kicker, if they have grown from that, I think it's fucking stupid.
100%.
Versus like if I said that shit and then I still believed it, I'm a fucking asshole because I haven't learned and I haven't grown. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So I don't know. That's just my take on it. Like, if people are willing to learn and grow, cool. Admit the mistake, learn, grow, and try to educate other people.
Right. Be like young Michael.
No. Don't be like no.
No, because you learned. Yeah, be like young Michael.
Be like young me after my mom sat me down, not before, because I was a
right
shithead.
there you go.
I was a shithead. Like, let's be honest,
Right. Man, that's young Mark was still a weeb.
Young
So
Mark's still a weeb. Has not grown or learned. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's true.
So
no, but it was like, man, young Xbox Mark was,
back
you
when,
know, y'all know the
you,
Xbox Live
yeah,
horror stories, right? Young Mark was in there, but we've moved past that.
yeah. This is back when you weren't Cloud Mark, but you were
That's true.
background kid.
Good old background kid.
But you misspelled back.
I did. I did.
His Xbox username was background kid, not background kid, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Oh, shout out to Pringles for that gamer tag.
Dude.
Because he's the one who suggested it in the first place.
Was he?
But yeah, this was middle school, so I was pretty big dumb. I mean, I'm still pretty big dumb, but
I think we're all a little big dumb in our own special ways.
Background, dude. It's because I was thick. That's why.
Thick. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on with this Pokimane story?
Poki, you're coming back into social media soon, and I, for one, will be glad when you come back. So that is what I say to you.
We're literally lost without you.
We're so lost without you.
All right, guys. I think with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick sponsor read break, commercial break. Dude, I still don't have this transition down. We'll see you guys in about 60 seconds. And welcome back, everybody, from that sponsor read. Just a quick reminder, if you guys like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, you can support us for as little as 99 cents a month by going to anchor.fm/WeDigress/support. Or if you'd like some merch, which, let's be honest, this merch looks fucking sick.
Fucking fire,
you can go to WeDigressPodcast.com and that will redirect you to the merch. Or listen, guys, we know money's tight right now with everything going on. If you still want to support us, I mean, even just liking the videos on YouTube, checking out the stream, retweeting tweets, tweeting at us, that also goes a very long way in supporting us. And as always, we appreciate all of you so very much.
We love you guys.
So, Mark, hearts. Mark, we don't have any more news stories that we wanted to cover tonight.
Right, like we said, it was a very slow week, and Koki, we'll talk business after this. And yeah, it was a very slow business week.
Business week, news week,
business news week. So we don't have that. We didn't have that many stories to talk about. There's the Netflix one, but we're not gonna get too much into that. So.
Yeah. Well, so I had the bright idea. I was like, Mark, why don't we just shoot the shit for the second half of the podcast?
Yeah.
Because I realized, and this is where the idea came from, is I realized that I don't think we ever really introduced ourselves.
Right.
Like, I mean, surface level stuff, right?
Of course,
We've known each other for over a decade. We're the hosts of this podcast. We like anime. We like games. I used to be a shithead when I was a kid. Mark stands waifus, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. So you guys know surface level.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be interesting. Mark, do you remember how we met?
Yes, I do.
You guys are about to get some premium content right now. Do you remember how we met?
I do remember how we met.
How did we meet?
We bonded over our love for an NFL football team.
That is true.
Called the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia 2017 Super Bowl
Super Bowl
champions,
champions.
Philadelphia Eagles. Put some
Hell yes.
respect on it.
There you go.
Yeah, dude.
It was like Jersey Day or something,
well,
right?
I don't remember what day it was, but I remember it was 8th grade.
Yeah.
I had a math class with Joe, with our good friend Joe,
Yeah.
and I believe it was actually right before lunch. And we used to do a lot of group work in that class, and so Joe, being Joe, was like, "Hey man, let's group up." And I was always a really shy kid, right? So that, we would group up, whatever. And then one day he was like, "Dude, have lunch with me and my friends." And I was like, "Okay." And I remember following him to the cafeteria, and I remember walking, pushing that door open, and I looked to my left, and like angels singing, I see Mark glowing.
Oh baby,
I see the young background kid
a
glowing.
young background kid.
And I was
Holy
like, "Hey, what's up? What's up?"
shit! Hey, what's up? You're like, oh dude, you like the Eagles? And I like turned, cause I was friends with Joseph before I was
Yeah, yeah,
friends with
yeah.
Michael. I was like, yo, what up, Joe? And then Michael's just like, hey, you like you like the Eagles? I don't know why I said it like that, but I turned to him and I'm like, yeah.
I like it. You're making yourself seem like this super cool fucking dude. Where you're like, I was like,
I
"Oh
didn't know what
hey,
else to say. I was just like, yeah.
hey, what's up, dude? You like the Eagles?" And he's just chilling there, takes his glasses off, and he's like, "Yeah, what about it?"
Yeah, what about it? I like didn't know what else to say. He was just like, you like the Eagles? I was just like, yeah. Because me being dumb.
Yeah,
So that
dude.
was our first exchange.
That's how we met, and then we fucking can't get rid of each other.
Right? I was the kind of guy that walks up, slaps your girl on the butt, and I'm just like, yeah, what you gonna do about it? That's not true. That's not me
That's
at
not
all.
true. That's that. You need consent for that.
Exactly. Everybody knows my waifus are 2D, as you can see all around me.
All around me are familiar.
Faces.
Yeah, but that was it, dude. And then like I
Yeah,
started just eating lunch with like you, Joe, Pringles, Jake.
Robert.
Yeah, dude, that was do you remember that we used to play quarters in the cafeteria?
Yes.
And we don't mean like the drinking game quarters. We mean like you
We
would
would
put
have to like flick it at each
yeah,
other's knuckles, and whoever
yeah,
bled first
would lose.
lost. Yeah,
You know what I hated about playing that game?
but
Is that fucking Joseph was so fucking good at that game.
yeah,
He was so accurate, and then he would fucking hit you so hard, bro.
your
That
knuckles will
like,
just burst
dude,
open.
like first one he'd hit you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm fucking bleeding already, dude. I'm out."
Yeah. Oh man, that was whew, that was fun. I used to play that with Casey Melly in
Yeah,
Spanish freshman
good
year.
old
Yeah,
Casey Malay.
Casey Malinkoff, as Mr. Squirrel used to call
Do
him.
it's really funny though, like how we had a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah,
Like, because I knew Casey, I went to elementary school with him,
yeah,
and then like Diego, I went to elementary school with him, and with Bill, you know,
yeah.
it was like we had a lot of overlapping mutual friends, and then it took Joe to be like, "Hey,
Let's hang out. Yeah, I
let's all
met
hang out."
Joseph in 7th grade, I want to say, and we had math class together,
Mhm.
Mr. Morgan. And Joseph had long flowing locks back then that went
Did
down
he
to his shoulder.
really?
He did. It was great. I need a picture of long haired Joseph back in my life. I'll have to ask him next time we talk
Yeah.
to him.
That's
Long
so
flowing
funny, dude. I
locks.
did not know that. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Jesus. It's crazy to think how these things were like Bloody Knuckles wasn't just something that we did. It was like
Yeah.
a bunch of people around, the world did it. It was like an actual thing. It's crazy to think about.
Well, that's
That
like blowing on your Nintendo cartridge. Like, how the fuck
Yeah,
did that get started, and how did that get spread?
right.
You know?
That's crazy.
Uh, did you remember when we used to not like we, but like I guess we as the school as students would do would play with mosquitoes? Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
those? Which, if you don't know what we're talking about, you would take a rubber band and you take a piece of notebook paper and you'd fold it down as small as you could, and you would just slingshot it. But what people
Yeah.
started doing is they'd get like staples and they'd like shove it through the paper to make a point, and then they would just like
Yeah.
fire it at people. It was like super stupid, super fucking dangerous, but
Oh
like
yeah.
fucking everybody did
It was whew. Man,
it. Dude,
back in my day.
back in my day, dude, that was fucking goddamn. That was so long ago. It's
I'm
crazy to
over here
think,
touching my knuckles, like remembering the
dude.
blood and stuff.
I still have scars on some of my knuckles.
Dude, we went hard.
Yeah, dude.
Sheesh. My delicate hands. Used to put staples into lead pencils and shoot them like a gun. I don't think I ever did
I
that. Did you
never.
ever do that? No,
No.
no. I was a quarters noob, and then bloody
Do you
knuckles
remember?
was that.
Do you remember in seventh grade when everybody would play Yu-Gi-Oh during lunch?
Yeah, I played Yu-Gi-Oh.
So did I. You know what? Can I be honest with you? I'm still salty about something that happened when we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh in seventh grade.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the fucking card was. Something night. Let me see. I'm gonna try to look it up.
Dude, card games back in school were super toxic. Woo. We actually played cards a lot in high school, like regular cards. Like what is that one where you flip the cards and then you have to what is that card? You'd like have to hit a jack or something,
Yeah.
and if you slapped it, you got all those cards. My
Shit. Sorry. I'm
God,
trying. I'm trying to
Slapjack? Was it the
find it.
slapjack? Yeah, I think it's
Slapjack, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I had this card, and it was when Yu-Gi-Oh first came out. Was it Buster Night or something night? But it was one that you needed to do a ritual summon on.
Oh, Luster Soldier.
Yes, that one.
Like
And I
Luster Soldier. Yeah.
yes, and I had it, and it was pretty rare at the time. And I had it in my deck, and I remember somebody was like, "Oh, can I see your deck?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I give them my deck, and they go through it. And then I was like doing something else, and they give me my deck back, and they like walk away. They fucking took my card, and I'm still salty about that,
Dude,
'cause
I
it
didn't
was-
let my deck out of my sight.
bro. I'm so salty. It was
Literally.
such a good card.
I had the whole red eye. My deck was the Red Eyes Darkness deck.
Mhm.
So I had Red Eyes Black Chick, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, Red Eyes Metal Dragon. That was my deck.
No, I was more of a dark magician kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's what I had.
That-
Dark
that's
magician.
how fights
magician
start,
girl.
dude.
That is how fights start, dude. Yeah, that was. Dude,
Man.
how the fuck did we navigate life, dude?
Oh man.
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy, man. So we meet in eighth grade. We stay
Right.
friends through high school.
Right?
I started doing theater,
Yeah, Michael did start doing
and you
theater
were
in-
I don't remember, what were you doing? You were in orchestra, right?
Yeah. I was an orc dork.
Good old orc dork.
The winged dragon of Ra.
Dude, can I be honest with you?
What's up?
There's only ever been 2 moments in my life where I've been like, I've legitimately thought, oh no, Mark's not going to be friends with me anymore.
Oh no.
And one of them, I don't know if you remember this. I had like just started doing theater like a couple
Yeah.
months prior, and we were all supposed to go to your house to hang out. It was going to be, I think, literally all of us.
Yeah.
You know, us and your older brother John and Pringles and Jake and Joe.
Yeah.
And we were gonna. This was after you had. No, it was when John got his license because he was driving. And
Okay, yeah.
or maybe it was you. I can't remember. Anyways, one of you was gonna drive us, and we meet up after school, and I was like, "Yeah, so I'm not going." And you were like, "What?" You were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with my theater friends.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna go hang out." And you were just kind of like, yo, yeah, okay, whatever. And I no, but I distinctly remember this because you were like, yeah, okay, whatever, and you like walk away, and then like I go hang out with them, and we're in one of their cars driving, and I'm sitting in the back seat, and I'm just like, oh no, I fucked up. Oh no, Mark's gonna hate me. Like I don't know why, I just felt so fucking bad, and then because like just like
I did
because
cry myself to sleep that night.
I mean you do that every night though, so
That's true, but
um but because I have anxiety and I've had it for years, like I immediately go to the worst case scenario, and like in my head I'm like, dude, I'm gonna show up to the table tomorrow and he's just gonna like ignore me and shit, and like that's it, friendship over, like that's fucking it, dude.
yeah, that was basically me, Kuro. Yeah, it's like, oh, we having fun. That's good.
Yeah, dude, but I was legitimately just like, oh no, dude, I fucked up so bad.
Yeah, I took
uh
Michael out of my top 5 MySpace friends.
oh dude,
I was like,
but
later, idiot.
but yeah, friendship did not end there.